I'm Michael Hong. Our top story tonight, Disney has announced that they will buy 21st Century Fox for a whopping $52.4 billion. This merger was made in part of the decision of movie mogul Rupert Murdoch, who decided to cash out after years of building a movie empire. Disney Incorporated, the parent company of Walt Disney World and Disneyland, owns a substantial share of theme parks and movie rights. Pixar is also a major portion of Disney that makes profit. Recently, Lucasfilm was bought by Disney for $75 billion. Murdoch said that his age plays a factor for the reason of the buyout. The 80-year-old Murdoch plans to finalize the merger by next year. This CEO Bob Iger stated, "The acquisition of this stellar collection of business from 21st Century Fox reflects the increasing consumer demand for a rich diversity of entertainment experiences that are more compelling, accessible, and convenient than ever before. We're honored and grateful that Rupert Murdoch has entrusted us with the future of businesses he spent a lifetime building." In other news, TCV has done some extensive coverage of the Sutherland Springs church shooting in Texas during the previous month. We decided to do a special edition dedicated to the horrible tragedy. We now go live to Chief Domestic Correspondent Tucker Clark. Tucker?
Thanks, Michael. On November 6, 2017, a Texas shooting had occurred in Sutherland Springs, Texas. A gunman named Devin Kelley had killed 26 people in one of the most deadliest mass shootings in Texas history. In 2012, Kelley then assaulted his child and his wife. He then later on was demoted from the Air Force and demoted from his rank for a 12-month confinement. It said about around 20 people were wounded and some were in very broken condition, mainly old children. When the shooter had fled, the church had a resident saw Kelley and shot twice at him. Before Kelley had crashed his car, he then called his dad. While Marvin had said, that Kelley had no license to carry a firearm, which the military said that he should have been barred from owning a firearm or banned from owning one or purchasing one under the federal law and shouldn't be allowed to get one. Because of this, his court-martial. Now back to you, G.
Thanks, Tucker. On December 13, 2017, the governor of Albany, Cuomo, proposed taking away guns from anyone who has been charged with domestic violence. Cuomo proposed that as soon as a person is charged with domestic violence, that they should be stripped of any gun in their possession. Cuomo said that in 2016, guns were used in around 25 different homicides. Bills would be passed allowing for the removal of weapons used in domestic violence. We now go to your legendary sports announcer, Cameron Lee.
Thanks, Gene. Earlier this week, the NFL Network has suspended Marshall Faulk, Heath Evans, and Ike Taylor for allegations of sexual harassment and assault. Jimmy Cantor, an NFL Network employee, made the allegations. Cantor was a wardrobe stylist from 2006 until she was fired in October of 2016. She made a complaint earlier this week against the 3 former NFL players. The lawsuit also said that Jimmy Cantor had been harassed by other former NFL players and ex-NFL Network analysts Donovan McNabb and Warren Sapp, and former network employee Mark Watts. Watts was fired from NFL Network in 2015 for being arrested for assault and prostitution. Now back to you, Michael, for the recent attack on the U.S. Air Force.
In other news, U.S. F-22 Raptor fighter jets intercepted Russian jets over Syria. The jets were in peacetime and were not en route to conflict. Shots in the form of flares were fired by the F-22 toward the Russian MiGs. No one was hurt, and the result was disposed briefly. The U.S. military did not comment on the situation as it is too sensitive to discuss. Earlier this year, the U.S. military has been involved in many situations in which they had to fire warning shots in order to ward off possible enemy attacks. Over the summer, the U.S. Navy faced off against an Iran gunboat, and they fired 50 caliber shots to ward off the attack. Recently, the U.S. flew military their heavy bombers over North Korea in response of the nuclear tests. The Russian embassy did not comment on the situation, but possible talks in the future will be in place. Michael Hong of TCV News reporting. To close off our broadcast, Disney is buying 21st Century Fox for billions of dollars after movie mogul decides to sell it. A recap on the Texas Sutherland Springs church shooting that left 26 dead and a village in shock and leaders asking for answers. New York governor issuing bans on assault rifles, the NFL looking for solutions after sexual allegations, and the U.S. military facing off against Russia. And that's our story. Thank you for watching TCV News. I'm Michael Hong. Good night. Rupert Murdoch. who decided to cash out after years of building a oh my goodness.
Oh my
You get the call, man.
What the heck?
Okay, let's go. Where's it going?
Home. Our top story tonight, Disney has announced that they will buy Cut. I'm sorry.
He crashed his car. He didn't call his dad. Well, Marvin had said, so, fuck's sake, okay, that Kelly had no license to carry a firearm, which the